Lightness you're describing, Harry, is called being high. I mean, it brings new meaning to your highness. Exactly. I think that this is a
That's
dangerous
his new
conversation.
nickname, Your Highness.
Interview 012. What if your second attempt to launch a lifestyle business flops like a flat glass of pricey rose? Even though you are a global celebrity, have the title, the platform, and a golden ticket to the world's most exclusive club for royalty. Meghan Markle's recent relaunch was a slow-motion train accident, and even her most loyal fans are having a hard time defending it. First, let's talk about Meghan's business and the product drop that nobody asked for. The American Duchess takes on a more rustic appearance. Pinterest tried to generate excitement with the introduction of a new rose, a new batch of high-end fruit, spreads, and floral sprinkle jars. But the whole thing was desperate marketing. The items were marked sold out as soon as the store opened, not over time or even with a rush of consumers, according to individuals who were present and were refreshing the page in real time. Stores stated that everything sold out in minutes. It seems like someone pushed a button and concluded that hype equals scarcity, which might have worked the first time, but that demand cannot be created twice and expect the same outcomes. Viewers of Meghan's first video also noticed something strange. She didn't look like her, seemed cheerful but hardly able to control themselves. And people started to ask, what's actually happening here? There was more to this than just bad business decisions. Was a peek behind the scenes. The illusion of exclusivity, buzz, and relevance seems to be the foundation of Meghan's entire plan. But when you consider how it's actually put into practice, it all seems fragile. Use the floral sprinkles to create the jars. What are those haphazard dried flowers in a pretty container? They are a mood board rather than a product. They have no narrative, no function, and are just there for aesthetic purposes. Next followed the jam or rather. The fruit spread, what the preserves community politely calls jam, was a failure. Meghan proudly called it jam in each interview. But professional jam producers saw that the pectin content and texture of the traditionally manufactured apricots didn't add up. Collins, a member of the jam industry's elite, even criticized her, stating, "What Meghan's selling is the kind of thing you slap a spread label on when your jam fails harshly but fairly." According to a number of royal insiders and pundits, Prince Harry was now taking a new route after Meghan blew her lavish debut. Raising the alarm, Harry's face is blank. His public appearances are flat, and there is increasing concern that he is starting to resemble the person he was before he married Meghan. Although the photograph of Harry in London was a static image, the look on his face spoke a lot about how he was disoriented, aimless, and appeared to be an unruly man. Recently, there has been conjecture that Harry's excessive use of drugs and alcohol to cope with his loss and anxieties, which he had previously discussed openly, may be reviving. Interview time, 3:30 to 3:40, although there hasn't been any official confirmation of a relapse. The rumors are becoming more widespread and have good cause. Harry has a long history of trying to escape himself. And if Meghan's brand is failing and their California dream is beginning to go south, then pressure is also mounting on him. Harry is apparently on the verge of collapse while Meghan is promoting flowery sprinkle jars and phony sellouts. Everyone can see that the household is disintegrating and that the brand is collapsing. Unless they collapse, even a total collapse, his once defined energy is replaced with confusion. This man has openly acknowledged that he used drugs and alcohol to numb his feelings because he didn't want to feel them, and has written about using them as coping methods. In order to get away from the burden of his own thoughts, he defined himself as someone who tries to feel anything. These are his own comments, not tabloid rumors, and his behavior is now starting to reflect that inner turmoil once more. He is no longer the mischievous prince. Rather, he is a guy who is unable to find his way through a fog, even though there are still hints. Speculation that he has reverted to his previous behaviors is growing as royal analysts begin to piece things together, not only due to his demeanor or looks, but also to the quiet and absence of any unambiguous, reassuring cues in their camp. They let the cameras roll when Harry is feeling well, and he is seen making appearances and giving sincere interviews. His few appearances and hollow grins are all he does now, which is unnatural and, to be honest, worrisome. Not in the sense of a tabloid villain, but in a more quietly unnerving way. Meghan is the one responsible for all of this. She promises to halt the phony sellout technique because it is unjust to customers one week. And then she does it again the next week, announcing that nothing new would be launched this year before revealing another drop without providing an explanation. Not only is it confusing, but it's also chaotic and gives the impression that there isn't a true plan. The brand's marketing is as bizarre as sensations. And the notion that the title of Duchess will be enough to sell everything. It's all pastel filters, fanciful typefaces, and that stale Cheers Dears language that sounds like it was taken from a 2012 Pinterest board. And there's no real connection to Meghan herself. No story and no purpose, just beautiful pictures with no depth. At the moment, it merely seems to be a callous lifestyle cosplay. And the worst thing is that the products themselves aren't even being sold in substantial amounts. So even fans are starting to question what she stands for and what her brand is supposed to symbolize. You couldn't make a fortune with them, and even with this selling frenzy. The profit margins were absurd. Maybe a few thousand at best, according to sources. 4 jars of honey in an Instagram photo. Particularly when prominent people in the field, you're seeking to enter publicly criticize your product. The Sussex team reportedly tried to contribute by buying a lot of merchandise, but even that looked rushed and frantic. Meanwhile, Meghan's once loud and proud support base is growing quieter. When individuals checked, they found that the maximum was 6 jars, despite rumors that someone had stolen 50 at once. The hype was contrived, not genuine. King Charles has remained silent amid all of this drama. But insiders claim that he is more worried about his son than the brand or the news. Despite everything that has transpired, Charles, the monarch, is still a parent. And no amount of royal formality can take away the worry that permeates every action he takes whenever Harry's name is spoken. According to people close to the family, the king is conflicted. While he wants to help Harry, he also understands that Harry must take responsibility for his sins after years of keeping them up. The fact that Harry still appears lost in spite of all the titles and notoriety is beginning to frighten people. It looks like Charles is setting a solid boundary. You have to clean up the mess you created. It's not heartlessness, it's exhaustion. Since he was a small child, Harry has battled demons. First, the demands of being a prince, and then the death of his mother. Burnout is inevitable when you combine life, the never-ending media circus, a move across the ocean, marriage to children, multiple litigation, and a brand that never took off. In addition to whether Harry and Meghan can successfully run their firm. The challenge now is whether Harry can maintain his composure long enough to regain his sense of direction. The question of money adds to the uncertainty. Rumor has it that Charles may continue to covertly provide Harry with private funding even after the wild card, Eugenie, comes next. She has been seen as the final royal relative to have kept her friendship with Harry and Meghan intact for months. People thought she had discreetly retreated once tensions escalated. But she was recently seen at Royal Ascot with Misha Nanoon, one of Meghan's best pals. The rumors that Eugenie remains a liaison between the Sussexes and the royal family were rekindled by this brief contact. And some people are eager to label her a spy, or she may simply be negotiating complicated connections in a family that has been ripped apart despite her strong royal roots. Some folks are merely attempting to keep their sanity intact. Beyond botched product launches, Meghan's issues include a loss of narrative control and a skeptical media that she once wielded as a weapon. The plot isn't motivating anymore, and even mainstream media that formerly disparaged her are gradually backing off. It's annoying that her brand is failing since she doesn't appear to know who she's speaking to. Every post is thoughtfully chosen but emotionally hollow. And every public speech feels too rehearsed. Behind it, her personal life unravels. You can only rely on titles and nostalgia for so long before people start to move on, and the cracks show. Not simply another PR campaign or product launch, but a genuine reset, a moment of honesty, humility, and strategy is what Meghan and Harry need. It will require something Meghan and Harry have avoided for years if there is to be a comeback. Not filtered Instagram vids and scarcity tactics. The audience is watching it all unfold in real time, with less empathy every day. The family is broken and the brand is confused.